What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 63, I believe. Maybe 64, depending on which one drops first. I'll probably drop this one first because the Arnold is in 2 days. So we'll say welcome to episode 63 of the Trainer Scoop podcast. Very, very happy to be rejoined for is this part three? Part two? Part three?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's part three because we did the
Yeah.
initial one, the Olympia one, now the Arnold one. So there you go.
Yeah.
Trifecta.
Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? The trifecta. Yeah, man. Part three with Hunter Longberry. You saw him last on episode something in the 50s, but the part two where we talked about the
hmm
Olympia picks, and that's what we're coming back to do today, but for the Arnold Classic. And right before I pushed record, I was asking Hunter how he's doing. So Hunter, how you been, man?
I'm good, man. I'm just busy as all hell right now. I uh I don't know. I've had my schedule fill up quite a bit in these last couple weeks, and just between having morning clients and then obviously still working for the hotel, doing all their gym stuff, and then afternoon clients, and then still fitting my training in there. It's like I'm not physically tired, but it's like I get done with my day and I'm just like, holy shit. Like that's a full week. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I'd rather be busy than bored, but I don't know. How about you?
facts. Dude, it's been a quite the past couple of weeks for me. Lots going on. Staying busy with the clients. Work's been good all in all. Content's been up. My car kind of like took a shit on me yesterday. Luckily, was able to get it back today, but 2 grand later, which hurt. So I'll
That's tough.
be able to take it to the Arnold at least. So hey, there's pros in everything.
You know,
But
it's funny. I saw your Instagram story and it was like you were talking about that and it was like
yes, sir.
this happened. And then I noticed on the next story you're like, we're good to go. And the big thing I noticed too was like no haircut,
Yeah,
haircut.
dude. I was looking rough this morning, and I didn't style it like I typically do, so it just looks like
Right.
dog
It was
shit,
like down.
right? And
I
now
had to
we're
do like
back.
a double take. I like switched back and forth a couple times. I was like, yeah, he definitely got a haircut in between those two stories.
Is this even the same guy? Come on now. So the clients have been picking up, huh? Like, has that been people that you've just met as they've come through the gym, or are you doing any other type of work to recruit people to work with you?
Yeah, so I've been branching out a little bit because it's like I have the gym stuff and it's good, but it's not very consistent just because, you know, it's not like there's like a huge event every single day in Nashville. Like obviously like when we have like the CMAs or something like that, like the hotel's at, 98% capacity or whatever it is. But, if it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the middle of fucking February when it's cold and people aren't coming, to Nashville to party, it's not like I got people just flowing in like that. And it's not so much that I like need to train people, but it's kind of like any skill. It's like if you're not doing it enough, you're like starting to kind of lose that like edge. And I just kind of felt myself slipping away a little bit like that. So I was like, you know what? I'll start picking people up in the morning, picking people up after work. And so basically, what I've been doing is just anybody that has like an apartment gym or like a home gym or something like that.
Oh,
I've
hell
just been
yeah.
traveling to them. And typically I keep everything like within like a 20-minute drive or something like that. And just knock out 45 minutes to an hour and then, keep on moving. But yeah, it's been going well.
That's pretty dope. You're living the city trainer life, man.
Right, right.
That's dope. All right, man. I'm glad to hear that things have been going well. I'll be seeing you this week too, so that'll be cool. Catch up. But I
hmm
feel like we should talk about the Olympia weekend real quick because it's the first time we really got some time to
Little
hang
recap.
out. That was dope. What were your thoughts all in all, man? Would you do it again?
Oh, 100%. And I think this next year they got it in Orlando actually, so it'll be a little bit different. But um, yeah, I'll definitely do it again. It was fun because I feel like the Olympia, and you can jump in on this if you think differently, but I feel like the Olympia is so much more laid back than the Arnold.
It
Like
did seem like that.
because the Arnold's because the Arnold's like just like everything smashed under one roof, and it's like you got all of these events. It's not just bodybuilding. You got like strongman and freaking slap boxing and like all this stuff. You're just like, oh my God, there's so many people here. Like, and
Yeah.
you know how it is. Like nobody's ever
Especially
got
back
like
in the
phone
day.
service. Oh yeah,
I,
honestly, I think this year it's gonna bounce back.
I do. I do too. I do too. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, but you know how it is. Like, there's never like any phone service, and you're like
Yeah.
trying to
It's
pull up your
hectic.
ticket on your phone. It's just like there's so much going on. Whereas like the Olympia, I felt like everybody like you're there for the Olympia, but it's like it's Vegas. So like not
Right.
everybody's there for the Olympia. They're there
Yeah, yeah.
to have Vegas. Like so I just thought that was pretty dope. And then obviously it's like, as soon as you get done, you walk into your hotel, there's a casino, there's a million different restaurants. It's not like you got to Uber anywhere. It's right there. So I thought that was
Hmm.
dope.
Yeah, man, it was cool. Like I echo all of that. Like it was like a different and like I wouldn't say more enjoyable, but like definitely equally but differently enjoyable as the Arnold. And
Hmm.
I think the one thing that was tough that we ran into that we'll have to plan better in the future and for other people is like shit is spread out. So like know where you're going and kind of have a game plan. Like I felt like a couple of nights we were just like, yeah, we'll go and like figure it out. But it was like we fucking spent like an extra hour walking around trying to find shit that one night.
So it's so funny you say that. So my coach, Dusty Hanshaw, he's got a podcast, and that was one thing that he and his co-hosts were talking about. They were like, because you remember that one building where it's like a mall, and we walked the
Yeah.
wrong direction, and
Oh,
it was like a
Jesus.
25-minute walk. He was
That
like
pissed me off.
talking about how, yeah, he was talking about how like one of the security guys was like, oh, if you just go to the left over here and walk down that hallway, you'll eventually get to the ballroom or whatever the big stage was in. Well, obviously, if you just take a right, it's like
Yeah,
20
that's
feet to the
exactly
right.
what we did, right?
Yeah, so they said they walked around the entire thing, and by the time they got back to the front, they were like, "You asshole!" Like
Yeah,
we
dude. That
just
shit was
spent like a half an hour walking around this mall.
I've been listening to some of their podcasts. It's very good. Is that so that's like the main one is like is that Think Big? Is that the
Yeah, yeah.
podcast?
So
Yeah.
the guy that runs it is Scott McNally, and he does like I think 4 or 5 different podcasts off that platform, which is like Think Big. Yeah.
Yeah. And we got to talk to him for a little bit. He was giving us some good advice as well as your coach,
Mm-hmm.
Dusty, and what's the guy's name? Rob, maybe?
Ron.
Ron. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They were all cool. That was a cool part going into the expo Saturday. We stopped at the hostile booth. You got to say what's up to Fuad and Justin, talking about the shit story. Say what's up to Nick, Justice, and Nate Epler.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw the squad. That was pretty cool.
Cut the line like 4 times.
Yeah, dude. Like we definitely cut the line one time where I was just like, "Oh yeah, we just cut the line," but like
Yeah.
no one said anything. So like it was hard to tell
That's
that.
that's the thing is they had those t-shirts that they were selling. It was like
Yeah,
you buy a t-shirt and you turn to the right and everybody's right there and you're like, I'm already here. Like,
and we cut like everybody, and then you talked to Fuad, and then you're the last person he talked to. I was like, oh fuck, but it was good.
I
Like
know.
it
I
worked.
felt a little guilty about that one.
Fuck it. Yeah, man. I mean, you see it. It's just an accident. But dude, that was so funny when Nate Epler, which funnily enough, so I was for those who don't know, Nate Epler, he opened a gym in Indianapolis that I went to for a time. Super nice bodybuilding gym. It's just a little far from me. And he moved from the 212. He got 212 fifth in the 212 Olympia in 2021. And then he's moving to open now.
Mhm.
But like funnily enough, I see him at the gym I train at now because I think he probably just needs another place to go. Like he gets sick of working and then working out there. But
Right.
that was so he got so hyped when he saw that I was wearing this sweatshirt for his gym. That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was like you were waving a flag of peace.
Right? He was like, "Yeah, I was wondering if anybody would wear it." And honestly, I feel like Hostile's booth was probably the most poppin' booth there, if we're being honest. What do you think?
Hmm. Yeah, I would say the only thing that maybe came close was when like Jay Cutler was at like the Celsius booth,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
yeah.
because
Always,
he's
bro.
Jay. So
Always.
yeah,
Those lines are always wild. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, man. I mean, all in all, I had a good time. Like, it was nice to go with you too because like we could like have a couple drinks, but we didn't like we're both kind of the same mind. Like we didn't go there to like club, which like I would probably do it, but like
Right,
at the
yeah.
same time, it was just like there's just a lot. I don't know. And it's like obviously
It's
you
that,
can't
but
get a
it's
good.
also like you're just ripping through money to get in.
Yeah, bro. Vegas, it is expensive. Probably more so than
Yeah,
Columbus.
it's like chicks get in free and it's like $65 up front for dudes.
Who the fuck is FaceTime? Oh, my mom's calling me. Maybe we'll edit that out. I'll text her and tell her. I had to call her earlier and let her know my car repair went well.
It's all good.
But
I got a little heavy on the pour.
yeah, man, we are. I mean, after our weeks, after our days, kicking back a little bit, relaxing, having a drink. If you're not a legal adult of drinking age, I'm gonna get demonetized as if I make any money from this shit. So we got to put out disclaimers. I'm just kidding. Shit, dude. Yeah, Olympia weekend, dope though. Your picks for the Olympia weekend were pretty on point. Like you called Nick winning. I
Hmm.
can't remember all of your picks, but I remember you had some picks. I was like, huh, all right, all right. We had a lot of similar picks
Yeah,
too.
the only one I think that really screwed us up was Derek.
Yeah, yeah. I think I had him in like ninth or tenth.
Yeah, I had him in like
So
eighth or something like that. But
yeah,
who knew? Who knew?
right. Cool show. And I think the Arnold is gonna be up there. It's gonna be dope. Great lineup for this Arnold. But first,
Hmm.
before we get into any like official predictions, we're gonna go top five predictions. Do you have any big plans, any fun things that you're looking forward to for the Arnold?
So what's today? Wednesday. So I'm driving into Columbus tomorrow. Probably train at American Barbell tomorrow night. I'll be at the expo Friday and then train somewhere Friday. Saturday, I'll stop by the expo for a little bit. Probably just see if I can catch up with my coach and a couple other people. And then I have a few friends that have like never been to bodybuilding shows that are going. Um, so I'm gonna go with them to the finals on Saturday night. And then honestly, other than that, just because, I lived in Columbus for the past 2 years, so I'll probably just try to catch up with some people, get some training in, and just take it easy.
Yeah, dude, I feel that. That'll be good. That will be good. Yeah, same thing for me, really. Probably just gonna be taking it easy, seeing people that I haven't seen in a minute. It'll be cool working with Korea Pure for this Arnold. So everybody stop by. I don't know what booth we're at yet. Probably put that on the social media. But yeah, it's always a fun time working with them. Come get your creatine, German made creatine, the best creatine. It's what all of the
Yeah,
guys
you
up there on the
you
stage
uh
take.
you did their booth last year, right?
Yes, sir, dude. Yeah, it's the well, I was gonna do it in 2020. Of course, that one got canceled
Right.
last minute. 2021
Got shut
canceled
down.
outright. And then yeah, dude. First Arnold was last year, 2022. Felt cool, felt like a good milestone. 2022's
Hmm.
Arnold was a little bit, we were kind of just exiting the tail end of COVID. So it was like it wasn't the same, like it was a little, I
Yeah,
think there wasn't a ton of booths, not a ton of people. I think this year, I don't know. I just have a feeling like shit's coming back. There's a lot of hype. So I think people are going to show out.
yeah. I think last year was kind of like everybody dipping their feet back into the deep end of the pool and like seeing if it was okay. And then this year, everybody's gonna be jumping in.
Dude, shit was wacky when they had the main stage of the slap boxing. That was pretty wild. You had like what was it, Logan Paul and Arnold up there, like
Yeah,
officiating or not commentating.
yeah,
And
that
then
was
if
weird.
you traverse about 100, 200 yards to the east, I want to say, toward the
Hmm.
toward the doors, there was fucking dudes in full armor beating the shit out of each other. Absolutely fucking wailing on each other, like concussion grade blows. And I was like,
So
is this
it
Arnold?
so it's so funny you say that. So I was working for the pros gym booth last year, and I was like selling all their excuse me, selling all their merch and whatnot. And I saw like the wooden like little outline that they had
Mm-hmm.
for the whatever you want to call that medieval fighting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I had no idea what it was. And I had like a really big group come up and I was like just selling t-shirts, like probably like 10, 15 people. And all of a sudden I just hear like this loud bang. And I'm like, damn, like what the hell is that? And I like look to my left and there's just these two dudes in like full chain link armor, just like running full speed at each other, like they're trying to hockey check each other. And it was
Crazy.
bizarre, man. Like I would love to see the waivers for that because these dudes were just like swinging like full on swords at each other and axes, and it was
Yeah.
nuts.
I'm like, damn. Like, how the fuck do you get into that? Like bodybuilding's pretty niche, and like that's probably 10 times more niche. Good for them
It
though.
reminded me. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Role Models, but
Yes, yes.
and
Yes.
that
Yeah.
they do like almost like a Dungeons and Dragons type of thing, but it's
Yep.
like real life with like foam swords.
Right.
And
Out
it
in the
was like the
field.
same thing, but these dudes are in just full armor and they're just smashing into each other. It was nuts.
Hmm. Bro, wild. Um, Before we get into these picks, one more talking point. I want to keep this one quick, but I like hyping this
Hmm.
stuff up. It's good. So, what is your favorite Arnold memory so far?
So I went
Or
the
if you have a
year.
couple, that's fine too.
I have two that stick out. So I used to go like every year with my dad, and my dad wasn't like into bodybuilding at all. We just like to go because it's like I said, there's everything going on. Um, but I went with him when I was like 11 or 12, and I was like dead set on martial arts at that point, and I
Mm-hmm.
bought like a full on like katana while I was there, and that was like that was I vividly remember just being like that one right there. I want it. Like I gotta have a katana.
That's
And
funny as
so
fuck.
like I just like bugged my dad the whole day, and then finally he was like, "All right, like we'll get the damn katana." So I still have that at my house in Finley, and I just like that sticks out to me forever. But as far as like bodybuilding and stuff goes, I went the year that Nick won his first one.
Yep.
So that was super intense because it was like he had just won the New York Pro, and
Yeah.
everybody's like, yeah, like he looked phenomenal, but it's like it's the Arnold. Like, is it gonna be, you know, is he gonna be able to do that?
Mm-hmm.
And he smoked everybody. Like it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
But the
Ian
coolest
got
part of
second,
that whole
right?
show, yeah, so that was the coolest part of the whole show was like Steve and Ian had been like super close and like all
Yeah.
the call outs, and they had even done a call out where it was just Nick and Steve. So Ian wasn't even in the call out. And then when they were announcing like the winners, they got to like third and they called out Steve and everybody was just like,
Right.
"Oh shit."
Yeah, dude.
And
Bro.
Ian just like even Ian was just like, "Okay, like I guess I got second. That's cool. Like I'm
Right.
cool with second." Like
That was a
it was dope.
battle. They had them posing for so long.
Oh yeah.
And do
Oh
you
yeah.
remember the guys on the prejudging that kept yelling? Were you at prejudging?
No, I was only there for finals.
Okay. I think they did this for finals too, but they kept being like, Pig Snake. Do you remember
I don't
that?
remember that, but
Oh, in
I can hear
prejudging,
it,
they
but I
yelled it so fucking many times. Like, me and my friend were just like, the fuck? Like, chill.
dude, he brings a squad with him. He always does.
Texas people are proud.
That's true. What about you?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I think my favorite one was my senior year of high school. And
Okay.
I was just getting into lifting heavily. Like I had been lifting, but like I really dove deep that year. And like I met some of the people that I was really looking forward to talking to. Like I was into powerlifting, so like Mark Bell, Silent Mike, back when Silent Mike was with them. Like It
Hmm.
was just the most crowded I'd ever seen it. My dad and I went on a Saturday. Shout out to my dad. I know he didn't really give a fuck about it, but like he wanted to support me, so that was great of him. And he,
Right.
walked around a busy ass expo hall all day. And man, just seeing it all for the first time and like that raw excitement. They still gave out magazines and shit, so like you had the tangible things as well as like a fuck ton of supplements. Um,
Hmm.
I didn't really follow the show back then, so like that would have been 2015. Couldn't even tell you. Maybe like fucking
Right.
Dexter Jackson or Fuad or someone
Right.
competed
Yeah.
back then. Who knows?
I have no
But
idea. Yeah.
yeah, so that was really cool. Just the first time it was awesome. I think another time that pops out to me was I went with one of my like good friends. He was like I grew up with this guy. He was like a senior when I was a freshman. And so like freshman year being at OSU, like you just take the fucking bus. Like you get a sick pump at the R pack, and you take the bus down, go to the expo. We met like Corey Gregory because we were really big into him at the time.
Hmm.
Um, and then dude, this is gonna be kind of sad, but honestly, like, so my ex girlfriend that I like lived with senior year and moved to New Jersey with and broke up with
Right.
like after like a year and a half of living there. We fucking
I
loved
remember
going
that.
to the Arnold. Yeah, yeah. Like we fucking loved going to the Arnold. And it was like honestly like a great time going with her. That
Right.
was cool. Like she just really loved it. And I was like, huh, this is weird. Cause she like lifted, but like not really
Right.
like
It's
that.
Yeah.
I was like,
Usually,
this is
like
cool.
if a girl's tagging along with you for that, you're like, she hates her life right now. But like, I'm glad
Yeah,
she's being there for me. But like, yeah, if you can get somebody that actually enjoys it, that's awesome.
right, right. And then I think, dude, honestly, yeah, the one that pops into mind was the 2021, the one you were talking about. For
Hmm.
finals, my friend and I took an edible and went, and then holy shit, like seeing the fitness division, like that was the first one, right? So we're like
Right.
just
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
like the edibles is taking off, and we see
They're
these
doing flips and
ladies
shit.
flips, streamers, outfits, just absurdly jacked while doing all these stunts, and we're like, what the fuck? And then it just keeps getting better and better to the point where you get to
Right.
open. And it was a great open. Like they posed the shit out of those guys. Like good
Hmm.
show. So I'm looking forward to this year, man. It'll be a good show as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
With all that being said, man, do you want to go like start at five, go 5-5, 4-4? You want to start at one? What do you think?
uh, I'd probably start at one just because I feel like if I go from five up, I'll probably accidentally miss somebody.
Right. Oh, I wrote this shit down. Let me pull that up. All right. So we'll talk about each pick. We're not allowed to switch them, and just give your rationale, pretty much, right?
Okay.
You want to go first? Or you want me to? First spot number
You go
five.
ahead.
All right. I'm thinking in fifth place we have Sean Clarita, the giant killer. My man is looking fucking insane. The dude weighs like 190 some pounds. Won the 212 Olympia. He's looking stupid. Maybe the most freaky individual out there. The only thing is, he's just like, I shit you not, 5'2" or something. Like, have you ever stood next to him?
Maybe. Maybe. Yeah.
It's crazy how small he is. And you have people like
Yeah.
Samson, Andrew that have the height, and then you have Nick that's just the mass, Rami that's the
Yeah.
mass. And it's like he kind of just gets lost in there despite being absolutely stupid. But he's made so many improvements since the Olympia. I think he's going to be some really impressive guys. Like that means he's going to be Akeem, who just has like looking at him out there in the Olympia, the dude was stacked. I think he's going to beat him though.
Hmm.
He's going to beat Bonac. Always comes in solid. He's going to beat Justin, which like I don't know. So like, did you see the most recent Bro Chat podcast? I think it was.
Yeah. I saw his back shots. He looks crazy.
Yeah, they're saying Justin might surprise some people. I don't know. I think he probably just should have taken the time off. But yeah, man,
He's been
Sean in fifth,
dieting for like a year and a half.
way too long. You know who else I think has been dieting for too long?
Huh.
Not in open, but Ers should have taken
Yeah,
this time off.
yeah, I agree.
What's your
And
fifth?
it's not even like he's been dieting for like so long. He's been dieting for so long and he like doesn't like come up even a little bit when he's like in between shows. It's like he's
Yeah,
just like,
shredded,
yeah.
pretty lean. And you could see like compared to Chris and Ramon, he's so aesthetic, but just does not have that size.
Yeah, he doesn't have, especially in like the upper body, he just doesn't have
Yeah.
the pop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Who you
yeah.
got for fifth,
Like
bro?
fifth, I'm gonna agree with you. I think it'll be Clarita. Um, it's difficult because like if you look at him, like if you took a picture of him and a picture of like honestly like Ronnie Coleman and made them the same height, like it's not it's not that far off. Like I think he's probably the best bodybuilder just in terms of like pound for pound, probably the best bodybuilder alive right now. Like I think he's better than Hadi. I think he's better than Derek. I think he's better than pretty much everybody. But like you said, he's like maybe 5'2", maybe. Like he's so structurally small compared to some of these guys that even if you're a judge and you're trying to be unbiased from a point of, okay, if I look at him, his arms are probably the biggest for his body. His, you know, abs are probably the most etched out. His back is the most complete. All that. It still doesn't change the fact that when you look at him and you look at Samson and they're standing next to each other, he's gonna look like Samson's son. Like he's so much shorter. Like it, and it sucks because it's like if he was like 5'6", I think he'd be Mr. Olympia and Open.
Yeah,
But because he's 5'1", whatever he is, I can't see it. I can't see it
sure.
happening from a judging perspective.
Right. I'm not even talking shit, but I think he's legitimately the shortest man I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Just says what
Like
it
actually
is.
grown man that's
Yeah,
like not a
yeah.
midget. Yeah.
Right, right. Wild. All right, fourth. This one is tough, but I think I'm gonna put Rami in fourth.
Ooh.
So, yeah. The reason why I think that is because he had some pretty big issues at the Olympia. So people
Mm-hmm.
were saying, which I don't know. I think you have to pay the due respect, but they're saying that fifth place was a gift. So I've heard that a couple times. I think he
Mm-hmm.
definitely deserved to be in the top 10, but man, certain things have just happened to his physique over the years, whether it be from maybe not the best drug use or maybe just father time taking its toll.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, certain things have just really fallen off on his physique. He has some of those I can't remember the term, but it's like the divots in your leg, divots in your
Mm-hmm.
quad. I don't know if that's from pinning. Is that what that was themed as from?
I think I could be wrong. I have no idea. But what I think it is he's always been kind of I guess predicted to have been shooting like some type of oil into his legs, which makes no
Mm-hmm.
sense because the dude's got like the biggest quad in the world.
Right.
And I guess they were just trying to make him bigger. And if you go back and look at like some of his old pictures, you can like really see like when they were like full blown and like full of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess what people are saying is that he was shooting up his quads in that particular spot to kind of fill out that outer sweep, which doesn't need any more filling out. And
Mm-hmm.
it just, I guess, kind of one of those things that you hear some guys shooting their quads, but not a lot of people are shooting their quads, like because it's just like such a risk that you could tear it or like just a lot of other things. Like I know I heard like Justin Shire say he shot his quad like maybe twice, and every single time he shoots his quad, it's like super inflamed and like tender to the touch, and like he just can't even train on it. And he's like, dude, I just not gonna happen. So I think that's probably what it is, and it's just like obviously years of doing that.
Yeah.
kind of has to. I mean, it'd be like the same thing if you just like constantly cutting your one finger every day. Like there's going to be some kind of repercussion in the long run. Like your finger's not just going to look like the other one. So
Right, right. So then you hear what him and his coach are saying. It's like they're gonna do damage at the Arnold. Makes me I think like you have to have that winning attitude. You really do.
oh
And
yeah.
it's just not been quite enough time to heal some of those malady. Is that the word I'm looking for? Those issues, whatever, that
Hmm.
I'm talking about. So I think, the Arnold was a bold move on his part. I think honestly, I don't think it really does much to help him, especially because I mean I don't have winning. You probably don't have winning. So yeah, man, that's what I got for fourth.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of horrible to say, but I could only see it hurting him more than anything,
Exactly.
like just dropping back. Um, Fourth is so tough for me because I'm like torn between,
Did
like
I
you just
talk you
said,
into
Rami.
Rami?
I
Yeah.
know, but I want to say Andrew just because I don't know, man. Like I want to say Andrew just because we haven't seen him in shape yet, and I know he's working with Chris Aceto and Psycho Lewis and all them, but uh, it's so difficult. You honestly, I'll probably be kicking my own ass if he, ends up in freaking second or wins or some shit like that. But I'm gonna put him there right now just because we haven't seen him like that. And
Mm-hmm.
as much as I think Rami's probably on the downhill spiral, I can't see them dropping him that far yet.
Yeah.
And structurally, he's such a big dude. Like
Yeah.
Andrew's obviously probably going to be he will be the tallest guy on stage, probably going to be the biggest guy structurally on stage. But Rami's structurally huge and he's thick everywhere. Whereas like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that if Andrew comes in peeled that he won't look a little stringy, but we'll see.
Yeah. That's a good point. So I actually have Andrew in third. Just gonna put that pen down, just fucking pop me in my face. So I actually have Andrew in third. After rewatching the Olympia, man, he looked fucking nuts up there and he wasn't in condition. So when you hear him, I don't know if you listen to many of like the podcasts he's been on. So he's been on like the Cutler cast, he's been on the Flex Lewis podcast, Dragon's Lair cast, or whatever it is. And
Hmm.
the dude has been training and eating like dog shit. Like
Right.
literally maybe eats 3 meals a day, and the thing is that makes it tough. I know he's working with these good coaches, but at that time, which it's been some weeks, but he didn't give a fuck that he wasn't eating. Like he was like, it's what I do. He's like, I train like this. It's what I do. And it's like, bro, I respect the confidence, but like you were over there in Dubai with fucking Larry Wheels, just getting videos for content for a long time. I think that kind of carried over in his training, and it's not been the most like
Right.
serious, well thought out thing. You need to take these things super seriously when you have potential like that, because he could win an Olympia. Like if he gets these things dialed in, the dude is going to be a force. And that's why I think he's probably started to working with Chris Aceto. I feel like Chris
Hmm.
Aceto is another one of those good, um, pretty focused on like conditioning. Would you say so?
Yeah, and he's very like no bullshit. Like
Yeah.
I forget who Andrew was working with before. I think it was George Farah or somebody like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
And like I've watched videos of them and he's like, "Oh my God, like you look so good, like you're this, you're that." Whereas like and so my coach worked with Chris Aceto and he's like, "Yeah, Chris will be like, "Huh, okay."
Right. Doesn't really give
Like
you much positive feedback.
right, and it's like it's not him being a dick, but he's also just like, we could probably be a little better." Like, and I feel like because Andrew's such a genetic freak, I think his last coach was probably just like, "Oh my God, like look at what I got. Like I got to tell
Mm-hmm.
him how great he is." And like, but I think Chris Aceto's seen so many freaks. Like I know he worked with like Jay and just like all those other big name pros. So he's probably just like, yeah, you know, uh, your hamstrings are starting to come in.
Right.
Cut back your carbs.
Yeah. 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 if he doesn't make progress with Chris Aceto and Psycho, like fuck, man, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
agree.
I don't
I
know.
agree.
Who do you have in third?
Third, I have Rami.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I still think they'll keep him up there. It'll almost be a gift, and like honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if you're correct and he's in fourth and Andrew's in third. But I do think I think there's certain things that are fixable with his physique. Like one of them was for some reason his posing just looked weird. Like he was like crunched and then he was open and then it was like it just you could tell he was uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think his posing will be better. That will help him. I think his peak will be better because he was diced for the Olympia, but he just looked a little. I don't know if it was that he was flat, but like the skin wasn't like like saran wrap tight.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was just like especially when he did like his abs and thigh or like his most muscular, like you could just tell like his abdominals it like wasn't the same as it usually is. Um, so I think they'll kind of fix that. And I think that's the only things they really can fix at this point because it's not like we've had a bunch of time. It's been what, 2 months basically since
Yeah.
the Olympia. So I think he'll be better peaked. I think his posing will be better. And I think that'll give him a little bit more confidence on stage. And like I said, I can't see them dropping a two-time Mr. Olympia who recently has been Mr. Olympia that far that quick. But I could be wrong, so we'll see.
Right, right. I feel like we're gonna have the same second and first.
Hmm.
So in second, we'll probably talk about second and maybe have to do a break and come back and
Hmm.
finish it up. So in
Yep.
second, I have Samson.
Yep.
Samson looked absolutely crazy at the Olympia, man. Got that sixth place and definitely well deserved. But I think the
Hmm.
conditioning is just going to be there even more so. Like, man, looking back on those pictures, I'm like, holy shit. Like, once again, he has potential to win Olympia. Like,
Oh,
his
100%.
physique is nuts. He's a tall guy. He's posing. Maybe probably the best posing out there in this. He'll probably get the posing award, right? Or
Mm,
the people's
yeah.
favorite. Is that what it
Yeah.
is? Whatever it is.
Yeah. No, there's I think the Arnold has most muscular and then posing award, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
So
I mean, I think he'll probably get the posing award.
yeah. I think he just doesn't quite stack up to that person that I have in first place though.
Yeah.
That could change, but Samson just looks so nice. So I'm interested to hear why, like if you compare Andrew and Samson, to me, I think Andrew might have a better shape overall, but like there's something about like the flow of Samson's physique that's just like, damn.
Hmm. I don't know. When I look at it, it's like if you look at it from like a typical bodybuilder physique, Samson looks more like a typical bodybuilder.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think Andrew's such a freak because he just doesn't look like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like his arms are gigantic, but then he's got like super tiny wrist and like
Yeah.
super tiny elbow joints, and then his quads are massive.
There we
There we go.
go. Dude, real quick before we get back into it. So, as we typically do, I don't have Zoom Premium. So, I'm on Poverty Zoom. We have to take a break after 40 minutes. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I have a Facebook friend that says St. Paris, Ohio, where I grew up, out in the middle of fucking nowhere, in between Columbus and
Right.
Dayton. St. Paris has the best tasting tap water in the USA, third best in the world. Bro, I always thought that tap water was fucking wild, like so good. Um, and then one of the guys in the comments said, East Palestine can't relate.
Dude, I was honestly just about to say something. I was like, well, I bet it doesn't taste so fucking good anymore.
Right. It's tough. Um, didn't you in that last like bro chat podcast, fucking guy sister Nino was like, I'm not drinking the water. I'm not brushing my teeth
Yeah,
with
he
it.
he, he was like, I'm brushing my teeth with bottled water. I was like, Come
Meanwhile,
on.
has probably done so many questionable steroids in his life. Like
It's
hilarious.
not even just that. It's like you need to look where the cities pull their water from. Like Columbus isn't
Yeah.
pulling its freaking water from the Ohio River.
Right.
Like,
Silly.
come on, bro.
Silly. All right, man. So who's your second place? We were talking about Andrew real quick. If you want to finish your thought there, we were talking about
Yeah, I
how
could finish it up
Andrew.
real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, what I was just gonna say is like when you look at Andrew, he has such a unique shape that it's like it's hard not to look at, but it's not the most complete shape, if that makes sense. Whereas like even though like people are always like, oh well, Samson's back and shoulders could be better. His hamstrings and adductors are ridiculous. Like his legs are as wide as my waist. Probably wider. Probably wider. Like it's not even it's not even funny. Whereas like Andrew, his back is decent, not great, decent. His hamstrings are we have yet to see because he hasn't really been in shape. So I just think when you look, and I know obviously it doesn't go body part by body part, but I think when you go body part by body part, it's like, yes, Samson probably doesn't beat him in all of them, but I think consistently it flows together better in some,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, dude. No, I think so. Who's your second place?
Second place is Samson for sure,
Nice.
especially since he looks so much more dialed in from the Olympia. I think it was Bodybuilders Without Borders just put up a post today, and they showed him like a day out of the Olympia compared to a week out of the Arnold.
Hmm.
Not even close.
Yep.
Not even close.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't realize like how damn big he is. Like when we were watching the Olympia, like when he was standing next to Rami, I was
Yeah.
like Rami's got the biggest quads in the world, but like Samson not far behind, man. Like
Yeah,
he
dude.
looked huge.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. What will it take for Samson to really, I mean, I don't know if he's going to crack the top three as we have it right now in the Olympia, but like, what's it going to
Mm,
take for him to get maybe like flirting with third, challenging Hottie, Derek, guys like Nick? I see those guys as, next year, if all goes well, it's probably going to be them as well. Like,
yeah.
what is it going to take for Samson to start really pushing them? Definitely the back and shoulders. We talked about that.
Yes, but honestly, this is kind of how I see things. When you look at Hottie, Derek, and Nick, they're all shorter guys. They're all compact. They're all heavily muscled, and
Mm-hmm.
they're freaks. Like they're just little compact dudes. When you look at Andrew and Samson, they're
Yeah.
freaking giants.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that if Andrew and Samson both come in shape, that they could potentially both move into the top three and slide somebody else out. But I think if one comes in shape and the other one doesn't, they won't. Just because of comparing standards. Like
Yeah.
Hottie, Derek, Nick, similar. Maybe not in shape, but in like, stature and kind of what they bring to the table, that hardness, that density, all that. Whereas like Samson and Andrew are more kind of pleasing to the eye. I mean, Derek's super pleasing to the eye, but like they're more pleasing to the eye. They're bigger frame guys. They got more like bubbly muscle, and it just has like kind of a different look. It's like the same thing in like classic physique. Very rarely, other than like Breon for there for a couple years, and then Terrence, you don't see short guys in that top, couple. You see
Mm-hmm.
Taller guy, Ramon Dino, taller guy, Chris winning it every year, taller guy. So I do think judges want to gravitate towards that taller, bigger frame guy. But I think when there's three of those top guys that are so good and they're right around that same height, it's hard to split them apart.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how I see things. I think Samson will get there just because he's a freak of nature. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. We'll see how it shakes up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we kind of have a similar answer there because I was almost trying to have like a trick question for you. Um, to me, I don't think so. Okay, I guess I should kind of like rewind this. So in bodybuilding, as I see it, because I haven't been like a huge long-term fan. I've been really, really into it for the past like year and some change. And
Hmm.
it seems like we've had several transitionary periods in bodybuilding, right? Like obviously we had the golden era to the 90s. So the 90s are super hard, grainy, getting big, pushing drugs. Whereas like the 80s, you had like the Labrada, that type of look where like they're still aesthetic but getting bigger. And then of course
Right.
pendulum swing to like the 2010s, late 2000s. They were just fucking mass monsters. Like the
Yeah,
guts
just
could
get
be
as big as you can.
distended.
Yeah.
Guts could be distended. You're losing on aesthetics. But now, unless there is that pendulum swing to more aesthetic guys, I don't know if Samson and Andrew are gonna really crack that top three because you have these fucking like they are pretty much. I mean, honestly, it probably will swing to more aesthetics. Like things always seem to swing like that. But I think right now
Hmm.
we're in that like transitionary phase, and just Derek and Hottie and Nick fit the bill pretty well, where they're like just aesthetic enough, but they're just so dense and thick. And yeah, that's kind of what I
Hmm.
was getting at. Was like, I don't think he will, but you know, if I don't think he will, if
Put
these current judging standards are for the rest of their career, is what I'm saying.
put it this way. I think he'll either be first or fourth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I
In
don't think you can
2023.
yeah, I don't think unless one of like Derek Hottie, Nick comes in off, it'd be very weird because they're all so complete. It'd be very weird to be like Hottie, Samson, Derek Nick.
Yeah.
It just like you know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I feel
yes.
you. All right, man. I think that leaves us uncontested firsts. I have Nick, the mutant Walker, in first.
Hmm. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I got no complaints there.
He's just looking even better than the Olympia, man. Like he looked absolutely crazy at the Olympia, and he surpassed it, man. He truly has. It's been really cool to see how well he's documented this too. Like you saw him training at the gyms we were training at in Vegas, which was dope. Like
Hmm.
a lot of footage at him at Fit Club. He's been at Dragon's Lair. Like he seems like I think a big thing for him was that like mental state. 2022 is a tough year for Nick. He still managed to get third in the Olympia. 2023 is a big year for Nick. I know we're both big fans of Nick, and he's been putting in that work, man. Like the dude has just progressed since the Olympia. And I think without a doubt, he's going to be number one here at the Arnold. Like, I don't think it's going to be a serious competition.
I think one thing that people forget about is like, which is crazy to me, but age. Like Nick's like 28. Like
Stupid.
he's 3 years older than me. That's weird.
Crazy.
Like that's a grown ass man doing grown ass man things. Like he's progressing so quick compared to a lot of these people. And I know people are like, oh, he's already, 250 whatever pounds on stage and like he's maxed out his frame. It's like maybe, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if these next couple years we start seeing like just a few pounds here, a few pounds there. His legs get wider, like just certain things kind of get deeper. Like he doesn't need to be any bigger technically, but it's like he progresses so quickly. It's like every criticism that he gets, he takes it, runs with it, and fixes it. Last
Mm-hmm.
year or 2 years ago, it was a criticism that his waist was too wide, and he started bringing that in. He started crunching down on like his front double, and it looked way better. And then the past year it was like, okay, well, his legs aren't big enough because he's got freaking 25-inch arms or whatever they are. And then he came in this year, his legs were bigger. So honestly, he's so young and like he just keeps getting better. I don't see him taking a step back unless, something happens injury wise, which, the way he trained was he's so controlled. I don't foresee that happening. But that's, and again, you want to go back to like Will Sampson, cracking that top three or win the Olympia ever. I think he can, but I also think he's on a very short leash because he is, I think he's like 37 or something like that. I mean, I think Nick's 28. He's got another, hopefully, like 12 years to
Mm-hmm.
get better,
Yeah.
and he's already
It's
top three in the world.
it's tough to say. It's really tough to say with that because of course we already know this, like black bodybuilders, they just like age different. I am kind of
Right.
concerned about Nick's ability to make it to like 12 years. I would say, dude, if he's doing that, it's a very, very poor decision on his health. Uh,
No, I agree.
yeah, so it'll be
I,
interesting to
I
see,
think he'll,
man.
I think he'll bodybuild for another 7.
Yeah, I'd like to see him retire by 35. Um, and hopefully, probably as he continues on, probably change drug protocols. Because from what I've heard, it's fucking wild. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't be
yeah,
surprised.
yeah. Any closing notes on the Arnold, man? I think our once again our picks were pretty similar. The only difference we had was that fourth place. I had Rami, you had Andrew, and then vice versa for third. So yeah, dude. Is there
Yeah, and
any like
honestly,
dark horses that you
y-
see that could maybe just have a good showing, be a fan favorite or
yeah.
pop in that top five?
I don't know that anybody will be in that top 5 other than those 5,
Mm-hmm.
but I could see Sean Clarita just ruining everybody's day and
Yeah.
being like second.
Yeah.
It all depends on how they judge.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw he
because
was
like I said,
training.
I think he's the best bodybuilder there. But
Mm-hmm. I saw he was training at Power Shack. I have a couple friends that train there. I was like, "Did you see him?" Like, no, we didn't see him. I'm like, damn, it'd be cool to see
I
him.
had a membership there for a couple months.
This is a cool gym. So, where are you going to be
hmm
training? You said American Barbell. You going to hit up any other spots, or are you going to exclusively be out there
Um, so
with the
I'll be
expansion?
for sure at American Barbell, probably around like 5 or 6 o'clock on Thursday, and then Friday, I might go to Grandview Pro. I got a few friends that have memberships there, so free pass in. That'll be nice. And then I think Saturday it'll probably be either American Barbell again, or I don't know if you've heard of the new gym that just opened in Columbus, Sparked Society or something
Yeah,
like that. That looks pretty dope. So I might
right.
I might check that out. I don't know yet.
Yeah, dude. I think I'm gonna go to Sparked on Friday. I'm very
hmm
skeptical though. Like one of my friends trains there, and we used to work out in my home gym all the time, and he loves it. I don't like. I had a client that I trust more of my client. Like, no offense, Corey, I love you if you're watching this, but I trust more of my client, Brandon. He is a senior at OSU, and he went there, and then he said, "Dude, fuck that place. Like, I'm done. Like, it's just my workouts are not as productive as at Grandview, which Grandview even pisses me off sometimes." So I'm like, "Oh Lord, if Grandview's the better option between Sparked, I think Sparked is definitely one of those like influencer heavy gyms. So like you just gotta
So that's what
fucking
I was just gonna say.
gotta
That's
be
what I was just
prepared
gonna
for it,
say. It's
man.
like, is it? And don't get me wrong, like we're like anybody that's in this industry, you're like obviously you're bringing your phone and your tripod into the gym. Like you got to film content, you got to make stuff. But it's when it becomes the only reason that you're going to the gym
Yeah.
and the only reason that people are in there that you're like, okay, like I haven't seen you do one hard set. You're setting
Yeah.
stuff in front of everybody. Like
Or
that's when it
like
becomes a problem.
one thing that's
Yeah.
stupid, but like always is like a red flag to me is like, oh, your outfit's over like 100, $150. Like,
Right.
I don't know, man. You know me, I'm kind of out there with it, and I sometimes I'll put on a fucking show and do my thing, but also I feel like I train hard, so like I feel like Sparked will be an interesting experience. So I mean, I felt like when
Yeah.
we trained
I
together,
mean,
we were pretty on par.
yeah. It's just like yes, get your content, but it's like, are you here to film content or are you here to train? Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay if you're here to film content, but don't like I don't know.
Don't be
There
annoying.
has to be like yeah, it's exactly. It's just like don't be a dick for everybody else. And like you, it's funny you say that about the outfit. It's like I go in there some days and I look like I just woke up. I'm like wearing
Mm-hmm.
like pants that I would take a nap in, shirt that's 2 sizes too big, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I might film something. I might look homeless. I don't care. But it it is funny. You got like the full on like matching freaking thing, and you're just like, you took like 35 minutes to pick that outfit out. I know you did.
Yeah, we won't get into that. It's already 9 o'clock. I gotta wake up at 5.
I understand.
All right, bro. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate your picks. Um, I appreciate everybody checking out this episode. Definitely looking forward to the Arnold Classic weekend. I'm sure you'll see Hunter around. Come see me at the Creapure booth. We'll be giving out creatine. So follow Hunter on Instagram. Hunter, what's your handle? It's escaping me right now.
It's all good. It's at Life of HL.
Yes, sir. Yep. And Hunter's been active on YouTube here and there too. I see you out there, bro. So get him
I'm
on the
trying. I'm
YouTube.
trying. I just bought a new camera, so we'll get some more stuff rolling here pretty soon.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, and if you guys would, I'd truly appreciate it if you left me a 5-star review and a little sentence or two on Spotify or Apple. It definitely helps get the podcast out to more viewers that aren't just connected with me on social media. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the video with a like, ring the notification bell if you're trying to do the most. Leave us a
Ring the
comment of
bell.
your ring the bell, baby. Leave us your top 5. I'm definitely excited to talk about this over. I'm gonna get this up first thing Thursday morning. So definitely excited to talk about it. And yeah, man, any other parting notes for the people?
No, I think that pretty much nails it. I'll see you this weekend, and who knows, maybe we'll get another training session in.
I'd love that, man. I'll be in touch. But until
For
then,
sure, for
see you,
sure. I
dude.
appreciate you having me on, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Yep.
brother.
See you, man. See everybody. Have a good one.